Hey, what's up? This is Nick Rollo. Welcome back to my channel / podcast. This is going on both. How crazy is that? Today, I thought I would quickly go over the secret to making your mixes sound better. And this applies to production. And I've talked about this before a few times, but it's really easy. And I think it'll change kind of the way that you approach mixing and producing in general. And yeah, let's jump into it. But first, smash the like button, hit subscribe, and turn on the notification bell. And if you're on the podcast, follow it. I think that's all you can do, or like it if you can. I don't know. Sick. Let's do it. So the biggest issue with mixing is that when you're mixing, you kind of enter like the mixing world and you get really drawn into like the landscape that you're creating, and it sounds really good whilst you're doing it, but then once you get out of that world and you come into like your car or to headphones or your laptop speaker or whatever, all of a sudden it sounds really bad. That is because you've been stuck inside this little creation that you've made yourself. Keep doing weird hand stuff. But you've been stuck in this world that you've designed where things sound the way that you want them to sound inside that world, and inside that world they sound okay. The issue is like you have no reference. It's like you're building a house and you're just creating this house by itself, but you don't have any other houses around to say like, oh, maybe I shouldn't make the window a triangular circle shape. Don't know what that is, but you know, there's nothing kind of anchoring it down saying, oh, it's probably not a good idea to make something look so crazy like that. Hence why this secret, so simple yet so great, is reference tracks. Oh my Lord, reference tracks. I preach it, and you should too, because they change everything. It just means that when you're mixing, you have a song or a few songs that perhaps the artist has given you, perhaps you just really like the mixes, you think that like sonically they're really, really solid, and you just keep checking back on those reference tracks. Throughout the entire process, you just keep coming back to it, and you keep anchoring yourself down in the comparison of, well, I think this is good, the reference track, and I'm checking to see how my current song sounds compared to that reference track. Otherwise you get lost. This way you can bring yourself back into like what other people like to listen to. And it's not saying to copy it. This isn't saying, oh, like I like the exact processing that they've done to the vocal. No, it's not that at all. In fact, it's just kind of like a grand design. It's like a blueprint. You're looking at, oh wow, I could add an extra octave to my bass. Or, you know, generally speaking, it's pretty dull, so I could add a lot more treble. It's not necessarily going in and saying, oh, that delay is epic. It's just general sonic picture. And that makes such a difference. It will just make you trust what you're doing, because when you're comparing it to something that sounds good and you've level matched it and all of that, you can just keep going back there and thinking like this is similar in its general qualities. Obviously, there's differences, there's stylistic changes, but the kick is hitting nicely. And it's important to have different reference tracks for different types of songs. Obviously, referencing like a heavy metal song for like a acoustic ballad or whatever is not probably going to be the best stylistic match, even sonically. There's probably going to be things that just don't work in that particular realm. So yeah, keeping it sort of genre specific will probably help a little bit. But it's crazy. It definitely helped my mixing and production, because it kind of works whilst you're producing as well. It's a little bit more pertinent to mixing, but it really, really elevated my mixing quite significantly, because before, you know, I would just be completely relying on either my feedback if it was for my music, or the artist's feedback, or, you know, whoever I showed it to say, oh man, that kick's not very good. But like, you know, you never get like enough feedback. Yet when I started referencing, all of a sudden I kind of could make that decision and make that call by myself. Before I had to send it to somebody, I could say, well, that bass and kick just aren't quite doing it well enough for me. You know, they're not punching hard enough. There's not enough of them. It just sounds light. And all of these things just are so, so helpful in just creating a stronger mix. Like, honestly, try it. Just try it with any song. There's a few plugins that you can use, like AB Metric, metric AB, whatever it's called, or you can just have the reference track at the bottom of your session or the top of your session, wherever you want to keep it, and you just go back to it. It's never going to be perfect. You're never going to have perfect leveling, but you should be able to get it close enough that it sounds, it's not like a dramatically different volume, because that's also going to be quite important, is that you're not comparing to something that's way louder or way quieter, because if it's way quieter, you're going to think yours is better, which it might not be. But yeah, give it a shot. There are more tips to how you can kind of better use reference tracks, and perhaps I'll make another video going into that and actually use an example maybe. But for now, just give it a shot. Just try it. Just see how it sounds. Just focus on like the lows, the mids, and the highs, and see what happens. I can almost guarantee it'll help you in some way. Maybe it won't change your life, but it'll help. Anyway, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this, smash the like button and subscribe, and leave a review on the podcasts. The podcasts. I'll catch you later. Have a good one.